Hello everybody. I will wait for everybody to join the video. It takes a little bit for Facebook to let people know I'm on. It's really weird having this camera flipped around. My right is my left and my left is my right. All right, so how is everyone doing today? I am gonna jump on my Facebook. I'll wait until more people are watching. Bree's here. She is sitting at my kitchen counter. She is the only one watching right now. Oh, we got 3 more. Okay. I am going to ask you guys a huge favor. If you are watching right now, in the bottom left-hand side of your screen, if you guys would click the share button and share it to your personal Facebook page, I would really appreciate it, because if we get 25 live views today that stay for longer than 5 minutes, I will do a giveaway within those 25 people. So if you want to do me a huge favor and hit share, you can either write a post, share it to a group, share it in a message. You can even tag somebody specific that you want to be watching with you. Hi Chelsea, how are you? Are you going to be making the soup today? I am just sharing it on my personal Facebook page right now, and then we will get started. If you're going to be cooking with me today and you want bacon with your soup, and you want to cook it in the oven, preheat your oven to 400 degrees. If you're going to cook it in a skillet, that's fine too. Just thought I would remind you, the beginning of the recipe says to preheat your oven to 400 if you're cooking the bacon. You're going to make it tomorrow. Well, you get to see me trial run today. I've made it one other time and it worked really well. So let's fingers crossed that it goes well today as well. Like I said, if you guys are just joining me, if you could do me a huge favor and share this to your personal Facebook page or a group, or tag somebody. If we get up to 25 live views and they stay there for longer than 5 minutes, I will stop what I'm doing and do a live giveaway within those 25 people. So share, encourage people to sit and watch me cook. Hopefully there's a few of you making this soup with me today. I apparently cannot multitask very well, so I am going to stop for a second and post this on my personal page. Also, Bree, will you text my mom and remind her? I told her I would give her a warning, but I forgot. My mom works on Saturdays and Sundays, so she can watch, but she can't cook with me, so I usually try to remind her that I'm going live so that if she has a chance while she's working, she can check out the video. I'm going to share this video one other place, and then we will get started. How is everyone doing today? How is their weekend? I hope you guys are having a good weekend. We are making Magnolia table. Joanna Gaines, she is that house flipper lady that's on TV. She has her own cookbook, and this is from her cookbook. This is her country potato soup with crumbled bacon. I did say the bacon is optional. The crumbled bacon just goes on the top with the cheese. So if you can't eat pork, if you don't like bacon in your soup, whatever the problem is, do not feel inclined to make the bacon. It does not make or break this soup at all. I prefer it without the bacon, but I am going to be making the bacon today for the sake of the recipe. I have one more post to do, and then we will get started. All right, last post. Just trying to see what days work best for people. Hi, Dad. How are you? Did you go out and get the rest of the ingredients to cook with me, or are you just going to rely on that yummy steak that you bought? My dad bought the most delicious looking steak. Hasn't even been cooked yet, and it looked delicious. So, like I said, if we get up to 25 live views today and they stay for more than 5 minutes, I will do a giveaway. I also am about 100 people away from 750 likes and follows. If we hit that today as well, I'll do another giveaway. And if you just go to my page, there is a button that says to like and follow, or to send an invite to your friends, and then there's an option that you can just hit select to all your friends and send it out, and it's as easy as that, and it is huge and means a bunch to me. So if you guys would go and do that after my show, I would appreciate it. Yes, my dad bought me this cookbook. So you guys have him to thank for this yummy recipe. Yes, my dad, share your steak pictures. My dad is one of the best grill masters I know. So, hi Doodles, how are you? How are you doing today? Okay, so I'm going to get started. I did preheat my oven to 400 to start cooking my bacon that I'm going to put on top. Like I said, the last time I made this, I did not include the bacon. But for the sake of this recipe and my live cooking show, I am going to do it this time. It says in the recipe, half a pound of thick cut bacon. So this is about half of the package. I have personally never made bacon in the oven. I always just do it on a skillet. But for the sake of the smell in my house, I was going to try the oven to see if it doesn't linger as long. So I'm going to open this package up. I'm going to do about half of the package on, it says, preheat your oven to 400. Place the bacon on your baking sheet, and you're going to bake it until crispy, about 20 minutes. And then you're going to transfer it to a plate that has a paper towel on it. The reason for that being, bacon is naturally very greasy and fatty. When you're done cooking it and you transfer it to a plate with a paper towel on it, it soaks up all that excess grease and fat, which helps it not be so slimy and gross. So I'm going to do about half of my package here on the baking sheet, and then I'm going to put it in the oven at 400 for about 20 minutes. I am going to keep an eye on it because, like I have said in my other videos, my oven does have a tendency to cook faster than it is supposed to. Okay, so I am going to throw this in. Like I've warned people before, if you're preheating your oven, please, please, please open your oven and check before you preheat it. Make sure somebody hasn't stored something in there. We do it a lot because we have cats and they love human food, so we stick things in there so they can't get to it. So please, please, please check before you hit preheat. There's nothing worse than melted plastic and things like that in your oven. Also, once you really oven baked bacon, so you've never done this before, you guys, so I'm excited to see how it turns out. Once your oven has reached 400 degrees, please, when you're opening it, make sure your face is not right next to the oven. It is a lot of heat that's coming out really fast, and you can really, really hurt yourself. So please, please, please be careful when you open your oven when it has reached 400 degrees. Make sure you open it away from your face. So I'm going to put that in there. Yeah, it will. My friend Brie is here. It'll melt your eyelashes if you have false eyelashes on. If you wear a wig, it will melt your wig. You just have to be careful when things are preheated and hot like that. Okay, so I had to wash my hands to get that bacon off of there. Sorry, you guys are a little cattywampus right now. I don't like being out of the frame, so I tried to switch it as I wash my hands. Hi, Taylor. How are you? Hi, Macy. What's going on? Yeah, Michael was just saying today that you had watched another live show of mine, and I explained that you're pretty present for most of my baking shows, which is exciting. Don't forget to set a timer. It said 20 minutes to bake the bacon in the oven, so I'm going to set it to 18 and keep an eye on it. Half-eaten pizzas in the cardboard box in the oven. Yeah, see, that's why you always want to check your oven. You never know what people put in there. Like with kids, if you have kids running around, it's an exciting place to hide something, and you just don't want it to melt. Hi, Cal. Oh, my husband just tuned in. He's out at work, so he is watching from work today. So we have our bacon in the oven, so we can skip down to... So step 3 is going to be putting the soup all together. But what we need to do is we need to prep. So I'm going to work my way down the ingredients list and prep my ingredients for the soup. So I have my stick of butter out. I have my minced garlic. Like I said, you are more than welcome to mince your own garlic if you have fresh at home. But this is my favorite thing my dad has shown me that's in the stores. It comes already minced in a jar for you. It's super handy, super quick, and it makes it so much better. Perfect timing. Yes, you haven't missed too much, babe. So minced garlic in the jar is awesome. Some people prefer it fresh, and I don't blame you. I get it. I just like it in the jar. So we have our garlic. Next is a medium white onion cut 1/2 inch thick and diced. So what you want to do is cut the ends off of your onion and toss them in the trash. And then you want to peel the outside of your onion off. They're going to be the dry, flaky layers of the onion. You don't eat those, and you want to peel them off. So we're going to do that into our trash can. I hate that this thing doesn't scroll. Brie, Macy, Cal. I know, you guys, this soup is going to be so yummy. Hi, Nikki. How are you? I decided today, once the boys wake up from their nap, that I am going to go to the pumpkin patch and find the biggest pumpkin I can, and I'm going to carve a huge real-life Viking face into the side of my pumpkin. So I'm super excited for that to happen this afternoon. What else are you guys doing this weekend? Let me know. If you guys are just watching me cook, let me know what you're doing. Let's chit chat so I'm not sitting in the kitchen watching Bree watch me watch you guys. Okay, so we're gonna cut our onions. Like I said in my video earlier this week, if you have a food processor, use it. I do, but for the sake of this video, I am going to cut most of this stuff by hand. What I try to do when cutting an onion is I kind of cross-hatch cut. I am not a professional. I have never been to a cooking school. Whether this is correct or not correct, I have no idea. But what I do is I kind of cross-hatch into my onion, and it allows me, I don't ever cut all the way through. I kind of stop prematurely at the base of the onion where it's held together. And then it allows for me to dice my onion quickly and efficiently. So if you look, I have made, sometimes this light helps and sometimes it does not. So let me turn it off for a second while I show my onion. Okay, so I have cut it and diced it like that. So then what I am going to do, hi Evelyn, how are you? How's it going? Cal, I'm making some yummy soup, some potato soup. So it's just gonna have yummy potatoes and creamy, yummy sauce. All right, so we're gonna just dice this into little pieces. And I just eyeball it. It says 1 inch. I don't like huge pieces of onion. We are gonna cook it down so it will be soft. It won't be crunchy. So if that's what you're worried about or thinking about, you don't have to worry about it. So we're just gonna, please watch your fingers while you're dicing. My knife work always makes my dad nervous. I've only ever cut myself once with a knife, and I actually wasn't cooking. I was opening a Christmas present for my son, and I stabbed myself in the hand. So ever since then, my dad has been super nervous. Well, Cal, you ask any questions, girl, and I will answer you right now. Madison is wondering the same thing. Yes, you guys, I am making a yummy country potato soup. It is going to be creamy and luscious. It's like potatoes and like a gravy type soup with carrots and onions and celery. We're gonna cook it all up, and it's just gonna be so yummy and warm and delicious. If you guys like bacon, it's gonna have bacon on top with cheese. It really is a really good soup for kids. It doesn't have any meat in it, but it still has a lot of protein from the vegetables and from the milk, because we're gonna use whole milk, and that's got a lot of protein and vitamins for kids. If you ever have a problem cutting onions and your eyes really start to burn, if you cut them under running water, it does help. My eyes get so bad. So I'm going to say this is about good, and I'm going to throw it into a dish and set it off to the side. Because right now we are just prepping our ingredients for when the recipe calls for them later. Like I said on my post, this has got about 15 minutes of prep time for somebody that is good at cutting and good at what they do. I am not a professional. I've never been to a cooking school, so it does sometimes take me a little while longer. I am going to wash my hands and watch this knife and hope that this onion stops making my eyes water so bad. But are you guys doing today? It looks like we've got about 10 to 15 people watching me currently. For whatever reason, it only shows me either people who comment or people that I am friends with. It will pop on and say so-and-so is watching with you. So if you're watching and I haven't called you out by name, please, please, please comment and say something so I can get to know you guys, get to know what you guys are about, figure out who's tuning in with me on what days, so I know what days work best for certain people. Oh, and to answer about what I was watching your firecracker replay at 1 a.m. Yeah, you said you were laughing, and I'm like, was she laughing because it was chaos in the background, or was she laughing because I was literally throwing ingredients around? Okay, so we've got our onion diced up. Next, we need 3 carrots peeled and cut into 1/2 inch dice. So, I've got my carrots. I am going to peel them up, and then I am going to dice them up. So, I've got my trash can right here. I'm just going to peel them really quick. For those of you that are curious or want to know or, are on a budget when it comes to groceries, I got all of my groceries today from the grocery store, and it cost me about $30 for all the groceries for this soup. Obviously, some of the ingredients I have surplus of. I got a 5-pound bag of potatoes, and it only calls for a 3-pound bag. So I have 2 pounds left of potatoes. Celery, the same thing. Carrots, the same thing. I have surplus of it. But ideally, from start to finish in buying the ingredients, it's about $30. It serves 6 to 8 people, and it keeps about a week in the fridge. So I did the math, and it's like $3.30 a serving. So if you are on a budget, that's about where this soup lands you. What I really like about it is it's just so warm and comforting on a fall cold day. It's super creamy and delicious. I did see on a website blog of a lady who had made it. She actually did make it with skim milk, and she said it was still plenty of creamy and delicious. So if you don't like using whole milk, hi Annette, how are you? If you don't like using whole milk, skim milk will work. It will still thicken up nicely because of the flour that we will put in with our vegetables and our butter. Like I've explained on a previous recipe, when you put flour in with a butter, it creates a roux, which is a thickening agent for any kind of sauce or dish. So that is a little fun fact there. So I'm going to peel the last of this carrot. It says to cut up 3 carrots. We're going to dice them up pretty small. I did find the last time I made this recipe, my carrots took the longest to cook. So they were pretty crunchy even after I had cooked them for a while. So this time I am going to make sure that I test the carrots before I am done cooking my vegetables, because it was a very weird contrast with the soft potatoes, and the celery was super soft, and then you'd hit this really rock hard carrot, and it just kind of threw off the whole taste. So
I know him. I think he's moving all over.
Who's awake? Kingston? Yeah.
He's throwing things everywhere.
My boys are taking a nap downstairs. It sounds like my oldest is awake, so I'm going to have Bree go get him. I've been super, super, super thankful that Bree and my husband and my brother have been super supportive with this whole venture. And so whenever I go live, if the boys are going to be awake or they're going to be home, they've been super awesome about keeping them entertained and keeping them occupied so that they aren't super loud and distracting for you guys that are watching. It says to dice up our 3 peeled carrots into 1 inches. So I'm going to dice these up the best I can. Like I said, I'm not a professional. If my knife skills make you nervous, I'm sorry. Like I said, I've only ever cut myself once, and I wasn't even cooking. I was using a knife to open a gift, and I ended up stabbing myself with it. So, lesson learned on that end. Hi, Kingston. Mommy's on the live video. You want to say hi?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can come around here. Cal's watching. If you want to say hi to Cal and Macy,
Hi,
can you wave? The Look up here. Guess who else is watching? Papa. Say hi, Papa.
Hi, Papa.
All right. So we are going to dice these up. I'm not getting a lot of response from everybody. What are you guys up to this weekend? Please, if you haven't done it already and you are watching me live, can you please, in the bottom left-hand corner, it says share. Can you click on that and either share it to somebody in a personal message, share it to your Facebook page, or share it to a group that you know people would appreciate it. I would really appreciate it, because if we get to 25 likes and follows on my page, 25 live views while I'm cooking, I will do a giveaway. We are at 12 right now. And if we get up to 25 and they stay there for longer than 5 minutes, I will enter everyone's name that's watching live into my spinning wheel, and we will have a winner. And those are pretty good odds of anybody who is a gambling person. Hi, Janelle. How are you? How's it going? How's the house sale going? How's the weather where everybody's at? If you're in a different state than North Dakota, comment what your weather is like. I think it's actually pretty... KG, what's wrong? I got a crying dog over here. If your weather is nice, let me know. I want to say North Dakota, I think we're sitting at like 50 degrees outside, which is nice. It looks windy like always, but I am hoping to make it back to the pumpkin patch later tonight, because I want a huge pumpkin and I want to carve like a real life looking Viking face in it. It's super awesome. My dad sent me this link to a company that has the cutouts for pumpkin carving, and so I went on there and I started out typing in NFL and looking at like the actual NFL Vikings logos, while it just so happened to recommend like a real live Viking, and it looks so cool. So I want to get a super big pumpkin and carve into the face of it. Thank you, Janelle. It's still for sale. Okay, if anybody's watching and lives or wants to live in the Arizona Peoria area, my mom's cousin is selling her house. So if you want to go look at it, I know they do open houses for people. Get in contact with her. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to toss the rest of my carrots into my food processor for the sake of time, and food process these up into smaller pieces. I'm not sure if anybody is cooking with me or if they're all just watching. So for your guys' sake who are just watching on your Sunday evening, afternoon, I will spare you some time and use my food processor for these carrots. And then I will move on to some celery. And then if you are cooking with me, get your potatoes washed up, because we are going to peel and dice those. We're going to want to keep our potatoes bigger because they will cook fast if they're too small. And we don't want it to turn into mashed potatoes. We just want nice, soft, diced potatoes in our country potato soup. Like I said, this is Magnolia table. It's a recipe out of her book. Her name is Joanne Gaines. She is like the home improvement gal that's on TV. She did her own cookbook, and my dad found it in a library or in a bookstore, and he flipped through the pages. He saw some of the recipes and thought that I would really like it and sent it to me, and he was right. So I made a couple of the recipes already, this being one of them. Like I said in my video earlier today, I made this, and last time I made it, I did not have russet potatoes, so I made it with just like the red baby tomatoes, and it still turned out really good. So if you don't like russet potatoes, you don't have them on hand, it can be substituted for other potatoes that you do like. Peeling potatoes really isn't too bad, but this dicing thing is kind of tedious, especially because it's going to be 3 pounds of potatoes. I am going to pop my lid on, and I'm going to pop over to where my food processor is and dice this up a little bit. It is a handy thing to have in the kitchen. Get the cloves. are starting a wish list for any kind of holiday, I recommend a food processor. That just cut down a couple minutes worth of dice work into a couple of seconds, which is awesome. You're going to make this tomorrow, Macy. Please, please, please remember to take pictures while you're cooking or after it's done. I would love, love, love to see people's before, during, and after pictures. It really helps for people that start to follow my page too to see what people have cooked so far with me.
I'm gonna call your mom. She can't get it on.
Oh, okay, apparently my mom can't get it on. So I'm going to share it directly to her Facebook so that she can find it. Bear with me for a second. How's everyone doing? Let's see if I can get the right thing going on. If you're watching for the first time, welcome to my page. I am brand new at this, so bear with me. But I want this to be kind of a new adventure for people. It's a cook live with me show. So I want people to be able to go through the process step by step with me and learn how to make certain recipes. And I want to learn what's good about my show, what's bad about it, what I can improve on, what I can change. I have learned, that there's certain things that people like, certain things that people don't like, certain times of day that work good for people or don't work well. But I am willing to listen and hear people out about what is going to work and what is not. I am going to share this to my mom so she can find it. I am making a country potato soup. It is from my Magnolia table cookbook. It is a country potato soup with a crumbled bacon. It does say in the description and a couple of times on my page for the recipe and the ingredients if you would like to make it with me or if you want to make it at a later date after you see the end result. I do post all ingredients and instructions. My bacon did go up, so I'm going to take a look and probably let it cook for another 2 minutes. I am looking for advice. Earlier, a gentleman commented that he has made this in the oven before, and I want to know, after you pull it out, Seth, after you pull out the bacon from the oven, does it crisp up more, or should I leave it in there until it looks crispier? Because right now it doesn't look done. So please give me some advice. I've only ever cooked bacon on a skillet, so let me know. So we did the carrots. Now I'm going to do 3 stalks of celery. I had my friend Google what a stalk is in baking, like if it's an entire bundle or if this is just a stalk. We came up with a bundle is a heart, and these are stalks. I took the bottom base part of my celery off, so I did grab more than 3 because I do like celery, and so do my kids. Which, speaking of that, where's Kingston? Super quiet over there, Kingston. Hi, baby. He's so quiet. I didn't think he was here. Hi, Meg. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you're not busy working. You can catch it. I wonder if Seth is watching. Leave it longer, Macy. Okay, thank you. Because, yeah, I've never cooked bacon in the oven, so I'm not really sure what to look for. I know when you bake it in a skillet, it does crisp up a little bit more after you take it out, so I just don't want to overcook it. But I did set my timer for shorter time than the 20 minutes, so it did have some wiggle room there. So we're going to dice up our celery stalks into 1/2 inch pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut them horizontally, and then I'm going to cut them in half again. Keep them nice and decent size. Like I said, I like celery, so I'm going to keep some size to them. Kingston really loves celery too. Leave it longer, saw that. Crisp your bacon first. Who is blowing her phone up? Let me see. Let's look. Maybe poke it around a little bit and see. Yeah, it is thick cut bacon, so I think the ends are getting done, but the The fatter side of it could use a little bit longer. I'm going to do 2 more minutes and see if that is enough. So I am going to make it tomorrow. Oh, Meg, are you saying you're going to make it tomorrow? Is that what we were talking about? It's hard because it says like you're replying to somebody, but it doesn't show me what the original comment was. So I'm going to have to kind of guess at it. So we're going to cut this up. We're getting closer and closer to making the soup, which is the easiest part. So what is also possible is if you know you're going to be in a hurry towards dinner time and you have some free time the day before, dice up your veggies and put them in an airtight container and put them in the fridge, and then you can just throw them into the soup when it is time. Seth is, because he's watching the show. Hi, Courtney. How are you? How's the new babes? She's adorable. And your clothing line. If I had a baby right now, I tell you what, I'd be broke probably. Have to find new things to cook for the little monster. Yes, I'm sure she's growing so fast. It did not dawn on me. I did not make the connection between Seth and Meg until just right now. Sorry, guys. It's just a little slow. So like I said, I cut my celery in half, and now I'm just going to go through and half it again and get our 1/2-inch thick. Hey, Bree, we have a visitor on the table. Can you go put her in the bathroom?
Hi, Riz.
My cats love human food, and usually when I'm cooking, I put them in the bathroom. But they were sleeping, so I didn't think they were going to be bothering me. Well, I was wrong. She started smelling the bacon and came out of hiding. So we're going to throw her into the bathroom so that we don't have kitties in our food, because that's not yummy. All right, so we've got our celery diced up. Hi, Nikki. How are you? How's Cody? You're welcome, Courtney. All right, so we're going to say that's good on the bacon. If you have bacon cooking, you guys, keep an eye on it. Mine looks nice and good, so I am going to, it says you pull it out of the oven, and then I'm going to transfer it to a paper towel to soak up some of that grease. So I'm going to set this down. I'm going to grab my bacon off of my platter. Always handle your pans with pot holders or gloves. You do not want to burn yourself. All right, so we've got our bacon there. My brother will be super happy that I am not putting the bacon on there. He's not a huge fan of bacon, but he does usually like my cooking, so I'll bring him some today when I go into town. I'm glad he's good, but how are you, Nikki? I hope you're doing well as well. Okay, so we've got our celery stalks all cut up. I'm going to transfer it to a dish and set it off to the side. Thanks, Bree, for taking care of the kitty.
Can't find Sandy.
It's okay. She's usually better. Unless it's like fish related, she usually stays away from the counters. All right, we got our celery. Then it says flour, which I have out. Grab your flour out if you need it. Thank you, Nikki. It feels natural to me, so that's good. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I hope it stays that way. It's really fun to do, and I hope people enjoy watching it. But next we have 6 medium-large russet potatoes, about 3 pounds, scrubbed them. I did scrub mine already before the show started. It says peel into strips. Sorry, guys. I know I can read. It just, this part confuses me. If someone can help me maybe decipher. Oh, you got to show us that trick? What trick? What did I do? So I scrub my potatoes. Then it says scrubbed, peel in stripes, and cut into 1-inch cubes. So I'm not sure if I'm supposed to, it's like wants me to peel off do the celery bowl trick. Oh, how I scooped it? I don't know what exactly you're talking about, but the celery's there. So I scooped it into the dish, and then what I did is I gathered it all back together with my knife, and then you just carefully push it onto your knife and back into your bowl. It's easier to pick some small items up and get them scooped into a bowl. Faster is just to use your knife carefully and use it and scoop it. I hope that's what you're talking about. I didn't know. Sometimes things that I know are new to other people. So that's kind of what this show is for tricks and things that I don't know that people know, like the bacon. So I am just going to assume that the recipe wants me to just peel the potato and dice it up. That's what I did last time with my red potatoes. So that's what we're going to do this time. Keep it simple. I'm just going to start doing this into my trash can instead of my cutting board. You found her? Kingston found Sandy, so that's good. Don't drop your potato into the trash like I did, you guys. I'm not perfect, like I said. I didn't go to school for this. I have my faults. I have my mess ups. I am human. So, it's just what you're going to have to deal with. Amateur like me. All right, so I have that peeled up. Gotcha. For Halisut. Probably did. I'm sure, yeah, when you asked me to repeat it, I wasn't as cool and smooth and collected. But that is how you do it. You just use your knife, scoop it on up. I bought a 5-pound bag of potatoes. Like I said, if you buy all the ingredients for this recipe, it's about $30. But what's good about it is you will have excess of certain ingredients so that you can make something else. I'll have extra potatoes, extra celery, extra carrots, almost a full gallon of milk left. Butter, if you have to buy that all together, you'll have extra of those ingredients. But if you calculate it all, it's $30 to buy all the groceries. When you factor in the serving size, it's about $3.30 a serving. So if you're on a budget or you need to be more aware of what you're spending, that's about how much it costs to make this soup. Maybe if you're making it for foundation and you're given a budget, that's helpful too. Hi, Nicole. How are you? I'm sure he's older now. I was about to call him a baby, but he's probably a tot now, which is crazy to think. I haven't seen you since you had just had him. How are you doing? Do you like where you moved? I think my husband texted me something which he should know better because I can't read it, but,
She moved to Boston.
Oh, I thought she was out of state. Maybe she was, and then she came back, and I just missed that step. So, that's very possible, but I've got a little puppy over there eating a nice bone. You can hear it on the floor. It's hard to hang on to the bone, so she lets it slide onto the ground. Sorry, I know it's boring to watch me peel potatoes. I have seen that video on Facebook. I don't know if anybody else has seen it, but it's like a way to peel potatoes super fast. Like if you need to peel hundreds of them for a big gathering, and I saw it, and a guy put all the potatoes in a big 5-gallon bucket with water, and it almost looked like a toilet scrubber on the end of a power drill. And he just stuck it in there, and he spun them around for like a minute, and they were all peeled. I don't know if anybody else has seen that video, but it always was super, super crazy. Quick and efficient. Leave it up to a guy that was given the duty of getting the potatoes ready to come up with a really big shortcut. Where us women, we all gather around in the kitchen and get to peeling as a family during Thanksgiving and stuff. So that's how it goes. Yeah. So I figured Bree would be a little more conversational.
I just had to blow Ray up about the peeling of the potatoes because of our Christmas incident.
Who up?
I just told Rory that he needs to take note on peeling the potatoes thing because of our Christmas Eve.
What happened during Christmas
when
Eve?
when I tried to peel the potatoes.
And what happened?
Failed hardcore.
Why?
Using a little tiny knife and cutting off half the potato.
Why did you have a little tiny knife?
I don't know.
We've had a peeler forever, so if she's trying to say she didn't have a peeler at my house for whatever reason.
I did, but I scraped all the potato off.
He's 3. That's so crazy. Okay, that's okay, Meg. You have a good night too. Can't wait for you to get to enjoy it. Hopefully Seth is able to have some time to make it with the little one running around. Nicole, I cannot believe he's 3. that blows my mind and makes me feel old. I'm not old, but it makes me feel like with kids, it's just, time just goes so much faster, or you have a bigger marker of time. So, but, how is everyone doing? If you're watching my show for the very first time, welcome. Our goal today is to get to 25 live views. If we do, I'll be doing a giveaway. My giveaway is always going to be kitchen and food related. If you win and I can see on your Facebook where you're from or where you're at, I will Google that place and find a cool restaurant and get you a gift card for it. My last 2 giveaway winners got some fun kitchen gadgets from Amazon. So if you want to check those out, those are on my page. So 25 live views that stay there for longer than 5 minutes, hanging out and watching. So for us to get there, you guys who are just watching and tuning in, go to the bottom left-hand side of your video. Is it left or right? It is left.
Yep.
Yeah. So bottom left-hand side, click share, and it'll give you a couple of options. All of them will work. You can share them directly to your personal Facebook page. You can share them in a direct message to somebody. You can share it in a group that you think would benefit from this show. All of the above would be appreciated. If you have the time, if you have the friends, just pop over to my page and invite them to like my page. It's super easy for you if you're willing to do it. Is you just go on and you click the community tab of my page and you hit the button and it says invite friends. You click it and it will give you an option at the top that says invite all. So if you want to do that, that would be super appreciated, to invite all your friends. I've had a couple of people do it and we have jumped up in page likes and follows almost instantly. So if we do that during this show and my friend Bree notices that we hit 750 likes and follows on my page, we get to do another giveaway. So if you're following along with me and baking or cooking your soup, I've peeled the potatoes and now I am cutting them into strips, and then I'm going to dice them into inch cubes. You don't want your potatoes too small, otherwise, my potato keeps sticking. Otherwise, it will cook too fast and they will get too soft and you will have mashed potato soup instead of potatoes. So, we'll just cut these up. If your bacon wasn't done when mine was, please keep an eye on it. Check your oven. Let me know. Like I said, do me a favor, share my video to your page so people can jump on live. Encourage them to stay watching and hanging out so that we can do a giveaway today. I would like to be able to do a giveaway every show. It would be so awesome, you guys, if I could do a giveaway every show to show my support for you guys and get some more people watching and hanging out with me. I'm hoping to grow this page as big as I can. I can't wait for the day that I wake up and I've got 1,000 likes and follows on my page. I'm not really sure how it works, but I do have more follows than I do likes on my page, which is fine. That means that if you follow, I think you get alerted more when I do post anything or if I go live. So either one works. I am following the likes for the counter. As far as when we hit 750, I'll be looking at the likes. I appreciate all your guys' support. I'm seeing some hearts up right now. They don't show me names, but it does show me the heart or somebody without a face. So hopefully it is people that are going to stick around and hang out with me. This country potato soup is going to be so good, you guys. Once I get this all diced up, it comes together rather quickly. The longest part is, I feel like, is the prep work. We do have to cook the veggies, cook the potatoes, cook in the soup. But once it gets started, I feel like it goes rather seamlessly. So I'm going to throw my potatoes off to the side. How's everyone doing? What are you guys doing for Halloween? Is there any cool things going on in your town for Halloween? If you're in Minot and you don't have kids, where are you going to take your kiddos? I need some ideas. I'm probably just going to take my kids to my friend Emily's neighborhood and go trick-or-treating. But if there's something else going on some other days around Halloween, let me know so that my kiddos can hang out with your kiddos. Kingston loves hanging out with friends, don't you, King? Yeah. He is so sweet. He's being so good. He never gets to play on his iPad, and he is either watching TV on it or he's playing a game on it. So remember, don't put your potatoes too small. You don't want it to cook too quickly. So get them diced up about an inch cube, it says. So throw those in there. They don't need to be perfect. I actually kind of like different shapes and sizes of my potatoes. Just don't get too small. Not a huge deal if you do. They'll just cook down in and make the soup nice and creamy. So not the end of the world if you got preoccupied dicing and got it diced too small. Sorry, I keep sniffing today. My allergies are getting the best of me. I dropped a potato, so there'll be a dog under me shortly, I'm sure. My dogs love when I cook because I am notoriously messy. My dad is the same way, so I was taught to be messy when I cook, which is nothing wrong with that. My dogs love it. My kids laugh at me. My husband laughs at me. I think my first video I was cooking, maybe my first dinner video I did on this site, I dropped a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of butter on the floor and forgot to pick it up. And my friend Bree found it in a dog's mouth a couple of minutes later. So it's kind of funny, silly. I'm not super strict in my kitchen. I like people to try my food. I like people to hang out. I like conversation. It's my me time, which is always good. My friends and family know that you guys can come and hang out with me, but it is my time to do my thing. It's if I've ever had a hard week or a busy week, I love coming up with a recipe to cook to kind of, it's like my yoga. It's to like center myself and find myself again. I dropped on the floor, yeah. I didn't give it to him, but I said, yeah. I said on live that I dropped a potato and that I would have a dog soon. My dog found it, so. Eating a potato. Whatever. He's coming for more. He knows that Mom will drop more. Oh, it's gotten really quiet. Sorry, guys. I can't wait until there's a bunch of people and tons of people are asking questions and cooking with me, but as of right now, it's just me and 7 people. So I appreciate the people who did pop on and who did say a couple of things. Hopefully soon I will have more of my friends come over and drink wine and drink beer and hang out and have some fun conversation with you guys behind the scenes. That's my goal in life, is for this to be, yes, cooking can be. Obviously there are times and places where or you're being bothered or you're short on time and you got a kid crying that they're hungry, but other than that, it is usually pretty calming for me. Okay, but especially when it comes to slicing, dicing, mixing, stirring, things like that are kind of repetitive, it is more relaxing, which I like. So, yeah. So I'm just cooking this soup up. Later I'm going to be hopefully carving my dream pumpkin. I'm super excited for it. Like cooking, it was super calming. I was carving pumpkins with my kids the other day and I loved it. I got too comfortable, so comfortable I was carving my pumpkin in the living room sitting on the couch. Chop faster, knife skills are rated as most important chef skills. Dad, I literally said earlier in this video I'm not a professional. I've never gone to school for it. My knife skills make you nervous, but if I chop any faster, I'll lose a finger, and I'd just rather not do that today. So, I am not a chef. This is me. This is why I use a food processor, because I am not a fast chopper. I just do it and try not to lose a finger. That's my goal.
How's that potato?
Dad is He's got his own opinions about stuff. So I love my dad through and through, but he is and always will be my toughest critic. So that's okay. I can deal with that. At least I can tell my dad to quit it if he's being too mean. But I appreciate any kind of guidance that people can give me, any kind of tips. But for now, I'm just going to be a slow dicer. And my dad. So I told you, the one time I cut myself, my dad was with me. I was not even cooking. I was trying to open my kid's present for Christmas, and I thought using a knife to slice a zip tie off of a toy would be smart, and it wasn't, and it slipped. Thankfully, the knife was super sharp, and it wasn't a serrated knife, so it just stabbed directly into the palm of my hand. I fell faint really quickly, crying my dad's name with my hand in the sink, and my dad came over, rushed over, fell on the ground with me, had his friend Ashley cut an onion in half, and he held it against my bleeding hand. My hand was bad enough that I got 4 or 5 stitches in it. But when my dad put that half an onion cut open face side down on my wound, it stopped the bleeding immediately. So that's a nice little trick for anybody who is clumsy in the kitchen or has ever had to deal with somebody hurting themselves with a knife in the kitchen while they're cooking. It's a fun trick to know that if you cut an onion open, face side open, and push it against the wound, there's something inside of the onion that stops the bleeding. So just a little cooking fun fact for you guys that my dad taught me, which was crazy, and it burned like hell, but it was better than the amount of blood that I was losing out of my hand. Probably not the best or cleanliness choice for when I told my doctor about it the next day when I got the stitches, but she said whatever stopped bleeding was important. So here we go. We are almost done. Our next step is, it looks like we will have everything ready except for our grated cheese, which I will find a point where we're cooking our soup and we can grate our cheese. I didn't buy pre-grated cheese because I have a hard time finding white cheddar cheese that's grated already. So I just buy my own block and grate it myself. I do prefer the white cheddar cheese on this soup, but like I said in my video earlier today talking about this recipe, you can use whatever cheese you'd like. I think even like a ghost pepper cheese or a pepper jack cheese would be yummy with it to give this soup a little kick to it. I don't think what type of cheese is all that important because you're just going to garnish your soup with it. So it's just going to melt into your soup and give it a nice creamy flavor. I don't think that potato has some dark spots in it, so we're just going to get rid of that. We're going to finish up. I'm sure my dad is jumping for joy now that I am almost done using a knife on my show. All right, so that's 3 pounds of potatoes peeled and diced up. Just you don't use that half for cooking, right? No. Or just slice off the bloody part and then and then you can use it. So we've got our potatoes, our celery, our carrots. We have our broth, our garlic. I'll just slide everything over this way. You won't need your bacon or your cheese until you top your soup when it is all done. So I am going to shift us over. I've got bacon out, cheese out. So we are going to shift gears. Now the fun cooking part. I wish I could put my phone off to the side so that my microwave wasn't in the way. So let's see. I'll microwave all the time. So we'll do that. How is that, everyone? I will get into the picture so that you can be a little better. How is that? Is that good? Is that a good angle? Like I said, you guys, I am new at this. I am learning. So I want to know what works best. If angles are good, angles are no good. If you don't see the ingredients enough, or if you need more, let me know. I wonder. My friend Bree says video lags really bad. Nope, that did not make it better. Let's wait. I probably messed it up. I'm gonna freeze. Lost a bunch of viewers. Awesome. Okay, well, my friend Bree said that the lag was really bad, so I tried to switch from Wi-Fi to network, and that was way worse. So if I dropped you on the video, please, please, please come back and watch. I did not mean to. Looks good. Thanks, Chanel. All right, so we are going to move on to putting our soup all together. So if you want to go to my post in the comment section, there should be the directions. We're going to move to step 3. Step 3, to make our country potato soup, you want a large pot. It will fill a large pot like this. So, large pot, we are going to melt our butter over medium heat. 4 tablespoons of butter, salted butter it says in the recipe. So we're going to go to medium heat. I'm going to slide my trash can over here and get my measuring spoons over here. How's everyone doing? How is the camera angle? Thanks, Dad. Angles matter a little bit. So, we got this melting. I would say the best utensil to be using for this step is a spatula of some kind to be able to saute your vegetables around. I prefer this. It is a rubber spatula, but it was angled and flattened, which I really enjoyed to be able to scoop stuff around. Take a quick drink of water. All right, so we're gonna melt our butter. Once our butter is melted over medium heat, we're gonna add our garlic, onion, carrots, and celery. Like I said, my carrots took longer to cook. My onions were cooked, my celery was cooked, everything was translucent, ready to go. So I just moved on in the process, and later found out once I had already added my potatoes that my carrots weren't cooked at all. They were pretty crunchy. So that was a bummer because I couldn't cook them any longer without losing the potatoes form. It was gonna mush them completely. So that was kind of a bummer. So just keep an eye on your carrots. They're probably gonna take the longest to cook, and it was not a good soup with some crunchy carrots in it. I actually ended up just picking them out anytime I'd have a bowl of this soup. So we have our butter over medium heat. Get it all melted. I can see you guys can see into my pot a little bit. So we have 4 tablespoons of butter melted on medium heat. We are going to toss in our garlic, our onions. So our garlic, like I said, this is my go-to. Minced garlic in a jar is a lifesaver. If you want to dice up your garlic, go for it. All right, so I need 6 garlic cloves minced. What I like about this jar is it tells you the conversion. Half a teaspoon equals 1 clove. So I am going to do 6 teaspoons, and that will be 6 cloves of garlic. I love garlic, so if it's a little bit bigger than half a teaspoon, I'm not scared. I love, love, love garlic. So I have my garlic in there. I'm gonna just toss it around a little bit in the butter before I add my other ingredients. I'm going to turn this on, see if that helps a little bit. Okay, so then we are gonna add our onions, carrots, celery. Throw my carrots in there. Onions. I'm going to kind of just break these up a little bit with my hand. If you guys saw me dice it up, I cross-hatched it so they are still kind of in their form of when I cut them. So I'm just gonna kind of smush them up, get them broken apart, and then I'll toss them around a little bit with my spatula to break them up even more. Like I said, my family loves carrots and celery, so I dice up quite a bit, and I like it. It makes it nice and colorful, nice and full of flavor, full of protein for the kiddos. I always wash my hands after dealing with onions because otherwise your eyes will just burn and burn and burn. So I have Cardi sitting with her mom, just drooling over the food. So we have added all of our ingredients to saute. We have had our garlic, our onions, our carrots, and our celery to cook, stirring occasionally until the vegetables are tender for 10 minutes. Like I said, I was going to find time while we were cooking to grate my cheese so that you guys aren't just staring at me. It would be awesome if we could get up to 25 views because then I could... Onions. My mom doesn't like onions either. She doesn't mind them as much if they are cooked down completely soft. If Meg doesn't like onions, you can always use less of them. It will, you will be sacrificing in flavor. If she's like my mom and if they're super soft and tender and not crunchy and you can't find them, maybe saute them by themselves for a little bit before you put them in so that they get nice and soft and translucent. Like I said, my hardest part was the carrots. They were not cooked, so I'm hoping this time that they will get nice and cooked up. Yeah, that's good. Just don't tell her they're there, and then she won't mind them. So I'm going to grate my cheese. I probably should have left my cheese in the fridge so that it was colder, so that it grated easier. That's in my opinion. Some people think cheese grates easier when it's softer. I think it just makes a bigger mess. But I love cheese. I am using for the recipe white sharp cheddar cheese, Wisconsin white. So good. I have Bree saying yum over there. Yeah. So I threw her the rest of my piece. And I'm gonna find a dish to grate it into. And Cardi. So we are gonna be cooking these veggies for like 10 minutes. I haven't set a timer, so we'll do it to 8. How's everyone doing?
Nicole had to get up. He needed a bath with his dinosaurs.
Yeah. I kind of noticed that people pop on, people pop off. It's all good. Ooh, see? That's what I think is hard about grating softer cheese that hasn't been in the fridge. It falls apart. But we're going to grate this up. If you've got your cheese, start grating it. You're just going to garnish your soup with it, which is super yummy. Yeah, my cheese is just falling apart over here. Probably can't see it. Doesn't help that I'm next to a warm stove, but it's all good. We're gonna get it grated up. Cheese is cheese, so yummy. Both my kids love it. If I'm like, oh, grab a snack out of the fridge, it's always cheese, string cheese. Kingston, my friend Bree laughs at him because he'll go in and grab a pack of shredded cheese and just walk around and eat it. So it's always kind of funny. People are usually shocked with my kids' cheese eating habits, but it's all good. All right. Like I said, if you're just now watching, share my page to your my post to your personal page. Tag somebody. Get people's interest. I am going to cook, I think, Friday. I think I've decided. I put on my post either Wednesday or Friday. But I think I've just decided I'm going to do it Friday. I'm going to give people enough time to get their ingredients and plan, and hopefully I will have more people hanging out and cooking with me. So on Friday, I'm going to cook dinner. I have a poll up. It might have ended already, but I had people decide between stuffed, like taco stuffed bell peppers or tater tot hot dish. I believe the bell peppers probably won. So we're going to make that on Friday. So if you want to plan your dinner with your family or just yourself out, Friday is the day to get your ingredients this week. I'm going to stop with that cheese. That should be enough for us that are having it to enjoy. Yes, I just threw my extra cheese onto the floor for my dogs. I probably have the world's most unhealthy dogs, but they're happy and they're not overweight. So they're good. They're good to go. They burn off all that cheese. Was it tater tot hot dish with beef? So I secretly in my family, even my taco dish, my spaghetti, all of that, I use ground turkey. I will give everyone the option to do ground beef, but I prefer ground turkey. So if that works for you, if it doesn't work, use ground beef. I think even,
Never heard of it without using beef, tater tot dish.
Did you have it the last time I made it?
You used ground turkey, didn't you?
I did.
Oh, I was thinking like chicken or somebody was thinking like that line.
You can use, I believe, any ground meat in a hot dish. So it can, I mean, whatever meat you would want to use works. I am going to, like I said, I don't want to be out of the frame very often. I didn't dice all my cheese up, so I'm gonna throw it in the fridge. How's everyone doing? So the tater tot hot dish, I will put the recipe up and you will have the option. Ooh, sauteed chicken. Like I said, yeah, I feel like you can make a hot dish however you want. Whatever protein you want. People use different vegetables. It's super flexible like that, and I think that's why a lot of people like it. You can use whatever condensed soup you want to, whatever meat you want to. I think the only thing that stays the same is the tater tots on top. So that's what's kind of cool about it. I'd actually never had hot dish at all, let alone tater tot hot dish, until I moved to North Dakota. I was born and raised in Las Vegas, and we just didn't have that kind of thing. Hi, Steph. How are you? Congratulations on the babes. The twinsies. Apparently twins run in your family, I'm guessing, because you got 2 sets. That's super exciting. This Valentine's Day, Seth, you made it for the first time for her? That's so funny. Yeah, I can probably count on my hand different dishes my husband has made for me. Tater tot hot dish not being one of them. He's really good at making cereal. Really good at making coffee. And grilling. He can grill most stuff. As long as I prep it for him and I get it all seasoned and stuff, he's good grill master. But other than that, I do the cooking in the family for the most part, which I like it. So I would probably feel like he was invading my territory if he came in and started cooking around me. My dad and I cook together and we love it. So yep, expert milk pourer. He gets a good milk to cereal ratio. But we are sauteing our vegetables until they're nice and tender. It says 10 minutes, just stirring them around occasionally. I probably waited 5 minutes before I stirred them for the first time. Tried to get them kind of all flipped over and get the second side of the veggies cooking. My onions are kind of getting translucent. Again, I just worry about my carrots. I hope I chopped them up small enough this time that they maybe cook a little faster. But our next step is going to be, we're going to add the flour and cook them together. Like I explained earlier in my video, the reason for flour and butter and things like that put together while you're cooking a soup or macaroni and cheese, gravy, things like that. It makes a roux. Flour with butter is a thickening agent. That is the purpose of why we will be putting flour in here, is to help the potato soup thicken. So that is the reasoning behind it. That's what it does. You always want equal parts. So if you are creating your own thickening agent, as long as you do equal parts butter to flour, you usually should be okay. So in this case, we have our 4 tablespoons of salted butter. So we're going to have our 4 tablespoons of flour. Watch, this be like the one time it's not. Where is our flour? Half a cup. Half a cup is 8 tablespoons. So she's going to actually have me double it, which I believe would make it even thicker. This is a cool little spatula that I have. So on the front it says, life is all about how you handle plan B. And on the back is a conversion chart. It's going to be weird. Is a conversion chart for measurements in the kitchen. So if you're ever doubling a recipe and it's like a bunch of tablespoons, you know, you come out with 32 teaspoons of something, it's 11 tablespoons, 5 ounces, or 2/3 of a cup. It's a super, super handy tool to have. It's things like this that I'll be giving away when we get up to 25 live views or 750 likes and follows on my page. Just little fun tools to have in your kitchen. I think I'll do maybe a larger giveaway when I reach the 25 live views for the first time. There are some neat kitchen gadgets that are being released that I've been following, so I might see, it's easy. It's like having a Google chart right there. You just have to look at the spatula and think. I mean, it's so cheap just to have it on hand like that. And you know, if you're looking at the recipe on your phone and you don't want to toggle back and forth, it's really nice to just have that spatula handy. All right, so this is about 10 minutes of cooking our veggies. We're going to add in our flour and we're going to cook. We're going to be stirring it around constantly for 2 minutes. So it is half a cup of all-purpose flour. Like I had said, the whole purpose of this is a thickening agent. So my guess, and it is a guess, that we are doubling our flour to butter ratio would mean that it is just going to be that much thicker for our soup. So half a cup of flour. For whatever reason, whenever I'm doing measurements, after I've already poured it into my bowl or my recipe, I always doubt myself that I had the right measuring cup when I did it. For whatever reason, I'm usually not wrong. I just doubt myself. So we're going to stir this around and cook it for 2 minutes. I am a weirdo. I have a bad judge of time, so I set timers even for 2-minute things, because what I think might be 2 minutes actually really has only been 30 seconds, and then I end up jumping into the next step too quickly, especially when my kids are around and I'm distracted or I'm talking to people. I have a really bad judge of time. I just find it better safe than sorry to just set yourself a timer so that you don't over or underdo a step time-wise. So I'm cooking this around. My flour has basically completely incorporated into my veggies. After our 2 minutes is up, we're going to add our potatoes, our chicken broth, salt, pepper, and bay leaf. So we've got our potatoes here. Our chicken broth, we're going to be using one whole 48-ounce box of chicken broth. This is what I use, the Swanson's chicken broth. They do make a like a sodium-free or lesser sodium option. This is 99% fat-free, no MSG, gluten-free, no artificial preservatives or anything like that. So I do like this company. When we go to pour this in, my want to say my dad probably taught it to me. He teaches me most of my kitchen skills. When you're pouring from something like this and it doesn't have an air hole for ventilation, it will glug and splash, and it's hard to, if you're trying to measure it out, it's hard to do. If you're trying not to splatter yourself, it's hard to do. So the best thing to do is to take a knife or some scissors or something and then just poke a hole into the opposite corner of where the spout is, and then that'll allow an air bubble to escape to kind of help with the splatter effect. So we have 11 seconds left. I'm going to add our potatoes, our chicken broth, our salt and pepper, and our bay leaf. So I'm going to scoop these potatoes in here. Like I said, this big old pan will be completely full with soup when we are done. It serves 6 to 8 people. So we have our potatoes. I'm going to pour our broth into here. See how it's got a nice pour to it. It's not glugging, it's not chugging, it's not splashing me. It's because it's able to pull from that air bubble that I gave it. All right, so we've got our chicken broth. We're going to use the full 48 ounces. Next, we've got our salt and our pepper. So a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of fresh ground pepper. I'm just going to eyeball it. Less is more when it comes to salt, but for my family with pepper, we like it. So I'm just going to eyeball it. It does say fresh ground pepper. You can use whatever pepper you have that's handy, will work. So I've got our pepper in there. Like I said, less is more when it comes to the salt. You can always add more salt later, but you can't take it back out. And salt is like, I think, the number one thing that people overuse when they're cooking, and it can completely ruin a dish. So we have our salt and our pepper, and then it wants us to use 1 bay leaf. I did not use the bay leaf the last time that I made this, so this will be new for me. I do know I have seen posts about Chipotle and people finding this leaf in their food and being like, oh my god, Chipotle, why do I have a leaf from outside in my food? Which always makes me laugh. This is just a bay leaf. You can buy it. It's just a McCormick bay leaf. Comes with a bunch of leaves in there. Like I said, all of these ingredients purchased at the store cost $30. But like I said, you have excess of stuff. I bought brand new bay leaves, brand new thyme, a full block of cheese, a new jar of garlic, things like that you will have excess of and can use again. So it doesn't technically take $30 to buy or to make this whole meal if you have some of the ingredients at home. So we've got our chicken broth, our salt, our pepper, and our bay leaf. Now we are going to bring it to a boil. So we're going to go off of our medium heat and we're going to crank it up to high and wait for it to boil. I am mixing mine around a little bit to break up some of those clumps of flour that we had in there mixed in with our veggies. Kind of mix that up. While that boils, I'm going to take this opportunity to put some of my ingredients away that need to be in the fridge so that they don't get ruined. I keep trying to turn that and it just does not want to go. So I can hear my soup is not going to take long to boil. Once this soup is done today, it is ready to eat. There is no need to cool it. There is no need to, there is no other step after you make it. You can enjoy it right away. I am trying to find a gallon-sized Ziploc bag, but I don't have one to put my leftover bacon in. So we're starting to boil. I can hear it. So I'm just going to stir it around a little bit. Make sure no ingredients are sticking to the bottom so that they don't burn as it starts to boil. Once it boils, we are going to reduce the heat and simmer until the potatoes are tender, but they still hold their shape, which the recipe predicts is about 15 minutes. During that time, I was hoping we would have been up to 25 live views or likes and follows, something, but we have 5 watchers. which is way less than expected. So I am just gonna assume that Saturday isn't the best day for people to cook with me. If you end up watching this video after I'm done cooking, let me know what day works best for people. Or maybe I'm just not giving people enough time to prepare for the recipe. Oh, sorry, I'm sticking stuff in the cupboard behind you guys. So hopefully this week I am giving enough time for the recipe that we're gonna make on Friday. Hopefully. So I think we are close to boiling, and I'm going to reduce the heat and we are gonna cook it. Depending on, I might jump off for the 15 minutes and then jump back on, since there is a lot of dead air and I feel bad. I'm not really sure what to do, I guess. It's kind of a bummer, but it's all right. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out what day works best for people, what time, how much time people need to prepare. Trial and error. Yes, it is. And I hope that me jumping around on different days isn't going to mess people up. People that, expected me to come on Thursday and now I'm not going to. I hope that doesn't lose those viewers. Like I said, I just wish people came out and let me know. Like, I wish people answered my questions when I'm talking to myself on here.
Time differences.
The time differences, like my friend Bria is saying, luckily it does show me what area of the world my followers are from, and I have a huge chunk in North Dakota. So time difference can be a factor, which is why I chose today to cook earlier and on a weekend to see if maybe that worked better. We'll see. I'm also going to cook earlier on Friday, hoping that it's earlier so that if people plan on going out with friends or whatever, their dinner is cooked up and ready. Or with the time difference, like my friend Doodles in Rhode Island, the time difference, she doesn't normally like to eat at 7 o'clock at night. I'm sorry, I have the hiccups, you guys. She doesn't normally like to eat that late at night, so it is a stretch for her to cook late with me. My hardest part is you guys are really good about it when you're on here and you're talking to me and your friends and you guys know me. I feel like the people that jump on and don't know me are a little type shy and don't want to type in and be in the conversation. So that'll definitely be something to take into consideration. So I have my soup cooking. It's simmering on my stove. It says for 15 minutes. I'm going to pop over here. We cooked our bacon earlier in the oven or on a skillet. I know now it was trial and error for this bacon too. I did not cook it long enough. The 20 minutes wasn't long enough to make the whole thing crispy. Just the ends were crispy. The only good thing about that is my friend Bree doesn't like bacon and my brother doesn't like bacon. So those are two of the main people that are eating. Nikki, I do it during the week as well. So I've been doing Thursday dinner at 6 o'clock. I tried that for 2 weeks. I had, viewers on, a couple of people who cooked, but I'm trying to just play around different days of the week and see what works best for people, because I have a close friend who Thursdays won't work because her daughters play volleyball. Everyone has their schedule, and it's probably nearly impossible to get everyone at the same time, but I'm hoping doing more frequent shows different days of the week, I can have people who cook with me Monday, people who cook with me Thursday, and kind of have a consistent following if I can't have a big following, to be able to have things like that. So I do weekends and weekdays because, like I say on my videos, I'm super flexible. My kids have daycare and school during the days, but weekdays, but at night I am free to cook and bake. Even in the afternoons on the weekdays, I can cook and bake. So I'm open to whatever works for people. I was doing just desserts on the weekend, so I thought I would change it up and do a meal on the weekend, and maybe I'll do a dessert this week. I was getting my hair done with Evelyn this week, and we were talking about making another cake. And I was like, oh, I should just make my Better Than Sex cake. Well, she's like, well, I don't really like caramel, and I'm not a huge fan of chocolate. So we got to talking about what different recipes I could make, and I brought up my lemon and blueberry poke cake I made for my mom for the first time this summer, and I showed her a picture of it, and she seemed really excited about that, so I might do that. It's kind of a nice, refreshing, light cake to make. Thanks, Nikki. Yes, any people you guys can invite that you think would benefit from my show, or just sit back and enjoy watching it. Maybe somebody who loves to cook but maybe has now gotten either older or who just doesn't have the ability to cook anymore with their jobs, but they like watching cooking shows. Just invite them. What I like about it is, obviously, if you invite them, it's their choice if they want to follow their page or not, and it can't hurt to at least try to invite them. So I did cut up my bacon to have the crumbles for the top of the soup. I will. Cardi's mad. She's on the other side of the gate than the dogs. So that people have the option to put this on top of their soup if they want it. Like I said, I did cook the other parts of the bacon, but it did not turn into a crumble. So I'm still gonna cut it up and put it in the dish so that it isn't wasted. Our soup is currently simmering on the stove. To simmer, you turn the heat down after it has come to a boil. I typically cover my food when I am supposed to cook it at a simmer. So we're gonna do that. I am cutting up our bacon that we would have cooked earlier in the recipe. I did mine in the oven for the first time. I usually do mine in a skillet. If you do it in a skillet, just place your bacon on a cool skillet and then turn the heat on. Some people do the mistake of heating their skillet up first and then throwing the cold bacon onto a piping hot skillet, and it doesn't do any justice for your bacon. So if you, bacon. So if you didn't know that, that's a fun little tip about bacon. When you cook it, you want to start with a cold skillet or pan, and preferably room temperature bacon. If you can remember to pull it out of the fridge in the morning, if you're making it for breakfast, to pull it out of the fridge a little while before you plan on cooking it, it will also help the texture and the flavor of the bacon. Which reminds me, I need to put, we only used half of the slab of bacon. It's a pound, and we only needed half a pound for our recipe. So I'm going to use this ginormous Ziploc bag because I don't have any gallon size, and the other smaller ones will be too small. So I'm going to seal that up and put it in the fridge. If you have leftover bacon, it will keep for maybe 3 days in the fridge, depending on how cool you keep it.
Mm-hmm. Cardi's like,
oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure most of the animals can smell the bacon in the house. I do have some part of the bacon that isn't crunchy enough to put on top of the soup, but it's bacon. I'm not going to let it go to waste, so I'm going to throw it in the Ziploc as well and stick it in the fridge, and then maybe in a couple of days I can make the kids breakfast and dice it up and stick in their eggs. So little protein for them in the morning. One of my kids loves eggs. The other one cannot stand them. So I'm sure if you are a parent, or even if your kids have grown up and left the house, you can still say that they were picky eaters. I know my mom knows I was a picky eater. Okay, well, our soup has about 7 minutes left to simmer. From the size of my viewers right now, I am going to pop off and come back on when the soup is done simmering. Thanks, guys. I'll be back.